Yo, welcome to my Pokemon Journeys episode 59 review, The Lost Grookey, who is its trainer. So, Go wakes up at home to his dad waking him up, and he sees that his parents are Rillabooms, and he has a little brother that's a Grookey who latches itself to his arm. He wakes up from that dream and finds that Grookey is asleep on his arm. So, okay, it's time to get a little serious here. There's been discussion about this being racist imagery, and I think that even if it is unintentional, it's definitely worth mentioning here. Go is a darker skinned character, while he isn't necessarily black, he's still a person of colour really, and there is racist imagery, kind of like comparing people of colour to monkeys, and I can certainly think of times in recent memory that I have seen people make those comparisons. So please understand that when a person of colour like Go or his family could be seen that way, it's very likely this will get cut from a dub, because not much of the episode will change without this sequence. People aren't just complaining and getting offended for the sake of it. To me it feels like a stain on an otherwise great episode, so let's get into why I think the rest of the episode is great. So the Grookey is on Go's arm and Go screams, which gets Ash up, and they check its data, with Go trying to pin himself awake, so that's pretty cute. He's trying to see if he's still sleeping or not. So Go tries to catch it, but his Pokedex tells him off. It belongs to someone else. So, I mean, it's pretty cool to see that don't be a thief mechanic in the show. And then Grookey wakes up, and it becomes a complete menace, hitting everyone with its stick until Mr. Mime comes in and flexes on it. And oh my god, if you don't know, Grookey is my absolute favourite Galar starter, and it's absolutely adorable here. As Go puts it, the attitude they give it is a stubborn and mischievous one, and that's perfect for it. It does wear itself out though as it's hungry, and you know, Go compares him to Ash, so that's pretty great. They have breakfast and Grookey tries taking Pikachu's food, and it wreaks more havoc running around the dining area. They look for it, and it runs out into Karu, who is on the way to school. It dodges Pikachu and Yampa's attacks as well, which shock everyone else, and then it's tuck it out. Go and Ash decide they have to find the trainer, but there are no reports of one being lost, like there was in Piplup episode, so Yampa is recruited to sniff the scent of it and take Grookey back to its trainer. They follow Yampa around the lab and outside, where they're led to one building, which Grookey jumps into. It jumps back out on the back of a Dodrio, hitting with a stick. They return Dodrio to the homeowner, and are led to a park. Grookey picks a fight with a Marowak. After stopping it, they have some lunch, where it runs off again, and here it brings some flowers back to life with its powers. So Grookey seems to like Go the most as it jumps onto him and latches onto his arm. Yampa leads him to a shop. The guy behind the counter, who is a store clerk in Let's Go, so that's a nice reference, lets him see the surveillance footage. And oh my god, the twist here is absolutely insane. Grookey was a bloody gacha Pokemon all this time. I'm actually going to have something to say about that in my overall thoughts. But anyway, that is a huge shock though. I mean, Grookey's a gacha Pokemon. Pelipper dropped the gacha and Grookey was released from it. It ran off before it could be recovered. So obviously Go's a bit worried about that, and when Go does ask if it's really a Team Rocket Pokemon, it runs behind Pikachu. So to me that kind of feels like it's got fear of them. And then very coincidentally, Jesse and James attack. They net Pikachu and Grookey. They're here for Pikachu and the rare Pokemon Grookey. They don't actually know that it's theirs, quote unquote. So Ash sends out Farfetch'd to free your Pokemon and beat Team Rocket back. Jesse and James call the gacha in, and guess what Pokeball they get? Grookeys, and they realise it was their Pokemon all along. Jesse recalls Grookey, so Team Rocket retreat for now, as this whole situation is confusing for everyone. Truth be told, this is sort of a decent setup, but I feel like Team Rocket not knowing that was something they actually had is a huge problem with the gacha. They don't have any bonds or attachment to these things. Like, why would they care if they have Grookey or not? So Grookey lost its stick upon being taken back into its Pokeball, Go has that, and back in Team Rocket's base it looks really unhappy. And man, if only Pokemon like Chewtwo were allowed to just hang out in the base like Grookey is right now, huh? It looks for a replacement for its stick, accidentally going into Morpeko's food box, throwing food around. Morpeko is pissed and it thinks that Team Rocket are the ones trying to take their food and it chases them. Grookey remembers its time with Go and goes back at the lab remembering Grookey and how it felt on his arm. Ash and Go talk about it, and Go hopes that it's okay. As Team Rocket sleep, Grookey makes its escape. The next morning, Go is going out to at least try and return the stick to Grookey, and of course Ash tags along. Team Rocket have to set out to find it too, especially because this was an HQ Pokemon. And I love that Ash jokes that when they want to find Team Rocket they can't. It's one of those meta jokes that just works so well. In the park from a previous day, Go is reunited with Grookey among the flowers that it revived, and it's a really emotional moment. They're so happy to see each other. Go gives it a big hug as he leaps into its arms. Go returns the stick, and that's when Team Rocket show up and chastise them for stealing Grookey from them twice. Jesse tries to recall Grookey, but it runs. Pikachu smashes the Pokeball out of Jesse's hand, and Grookey smashes it, meaning that's once again a wild Pokemon. And, you know, we've seen that kind of thing happen before with Jesse's Dustox, so it doesn't feel like it's out of nowhere that this can happen. Grookey wants Go to catch it. Both Go and Jesse throw Pokeballs, so Grookey bats back the Team Rocket pool, and lets Go get it. Pikachu blasts Team Rocket off, and that evening at the lab, Grookey is properly introduced to everyone. Alright, so I bet if you know me and my opinions on Team Rocket in this series, you're probably going to be expecting me to say that I wish it stayed with them, right? Well, no, but I did allude to having something to say about it, and honestly, it's frustrating to see a Pokemon actually allowed to be promoted beyond being a gacha Pokemon. Are you saying Grookey can become a main cast Pokemon, but Chewtle can't? That's so frustrating to me. Just let them have Chewtle, man, please. I also kind of don't have an issue with Grookey not wanting to be with Team Rocket. Even if Jesse and James do actually care for and not mistreat them or anything when they're allowed to actually have Pokemon, sometimes certain trainers just don't work out with a Pokemon, and a Pokemon gravitates towards a certain trainer. Think Ash's Snivy or Froakie. Consider that it was from Team Rocket HQ too. Do you really think it would be a pleasant experience to all Pokemon? I can see why Grookey wouldn't want to be a part of that anymore. No matter how good Jesse or James are individually, it doesn't know that, it's never met them. Now, of course, it's not all positive, as I think the dream sequence is distasteful for reasons I mentioned at the start of the review, and it does ultimately detract from my positive thoughts about this, because it does feel ultimately pointless as well. The setup would have worked fine without it, just Go waking up with Grookey on his arm. But other than that, I feel like the episode did a great job showing Go and Grookey's bond. Just the day together helped them form something special, and Grookey saw an out from the crappy gacha with Go. You could feel like it really cared for him, and he cared for it in return, and that was super sweet when they reunited with each other. The catch itself was a great moment, and I feel like it would have only been stronger if Grookey was the one to blast Team Rocket off. It freed itself on its own volition, and then chose someone it wanted to be with. I ain't gonna complain about that. Now, I know a lot of people will freak out about why did Go get all the 3 Galar starters, what about Ash? Look, in my ideal world, Ash would have Sobble or Grookey instead of Farfetch'd. In fact, they keep on comparing Grookey to Ash here, but I'm not really upset about it either. Cinderace and Sobble have a top tier bond with Go, and I don't think Grookey will be any less incredible with Go. If you don't like it, I get it. But for me personally, I can deal with it. And you know what, it does feel like a reference to the original series or Black and White, where one of the protagonists has all the starters of that generation. So again, I want to stress that people's upset over the dream sequence is completely justified to me. Please at least try to understand why people are upset about it before trying to throw their complaints aside. Go and his family aren't black, but they are darker, and I don't think the staff meant for it to be racist. But much like the Persimmon episode in Sun and Moon, it's something that might not translate well to Western audiences well. Other than that though, I think that this was probably my favourite capture episode of the 3 Galar starters, honestly. It had an interesting enough concept, somehow with a gacha involved, and well, Go and Grookey just feel like a cute pair to me. I'm very glad to see him get it. Maybe not worth having to wait 59 episodes for, maybe I could have just done it earlier. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the episode. It has an unfortunate beginning which I'll probably skip on rewatches, but one stain doesn't really ruin it as a whole for me. So welcome to the show, Grookey.